Oh man, that is a satisfying sound, especially when you've been working hard on electrical issues. To be able to have that mower kick back on and knock out a yard in less than 30 minutes, just like the glory days. I'm going to walk you guys through what I found and how you can help energize the system to kind of help diagnose and roll stuff out and also change the oil. So let's dig on into it, guys. Alright guys, here on Smashing Pumpkin, you know I'm all about wiring diagnostics and all kinds of pains in the ass, and as you can see with the condition of this mower, I have been having a bundle of joy with it. This has been probably a month or two that I've been working with this. I have a kind of chaotic schedule, so it's kind of prevented me from actually just working on it every day, but I finally got a chance today, got out here, started really dialing into it. So first starts, now you're gonna say, oh, it's a seat switch. We bypass that 100%. That is the bypass sequence. The two inner prongs connected, make a connection, the two outer prongs. So now the solenoids and everything think that I'm sitting in the seat. We bypass that. This is just for testing purposes. When you kick the key on, so for the longest time it starts, it runs, it drives, no big deal. You turn on the PTO switch, it's in the on position. No power, no 12 volts directly to the PTO. Figured it out right here. I even changed out the solenoid or the relay, thinking, oh, what the hell is that? Still no power to it, so I started fiddling with it. Here, that click, not only is this clicking because it's getting power, you can hear that's the electric clutch, the PTO actuating. So worst case scenario, if you keep digging at something long enough, you'll figure it out. This is a Troy-Bilt Mustang 50. So you guys are aware, where is that? There it is. Zero turn Troy-Bilt 50. There's not much to it. I mean, the wiring harness, you're going to have a park sensor on each side of these. In the front, there'll also be a reverse sensor on each one. You can bypass those and test them, but all that being said, yeah, so we're gonna cut all this apart carefully and see what wire is damaged, frayed, or why it is, but basically we found the culprit right here. Could even be the solenoid or the relay itself, but we're gonna dig into it deeper. Just be patient, keep digging with the guys, you'll figure it out. Ooh, guys, I almost forgot. It's been raining a lot, but what I actually ended up having to do here was running ground wire directly from the solenoid or the relay. I don't know why I keep calling it solenoid. From the relay, I just severed the wire right there and ran a ground directly to the battery. Tested everything multiple times before I finalized this cut and before I finalized, soldering and wiring and any of that. Made sure that it would work, and it did, 100%. Now, onto the oil change. It does hold 64 ounces, and I opted to use full synthetic Walmart NW30. And instead of doing the original Kohler oil filter, which is, I believe, $15 or $16 at Lowe's, I decided to get a Walmart. It's a 3614. It's like $5. So make this oil change cheap as possible and get it back on the road so we can actually do some mowing. The best part about this lawnmower is the drain plug location. They have this cute little hose hanging out by the exhaust, makes it super easy and convenient. Once the oil starts draining, don't forget to slightly pry the dipstick apart like this so it releases the vacuum. No matter how you slice it, this oil change is going to get messy, especially under the oil filter, but there's a cool little notch right here in the frame that actually allows oil to drain properly, and it pulls up correctly. I did have to get a band wrench on it because I do believe this was the factory oil change. I'm not sure if anybody ever changed it before, but we're taking care of it now, and that's what matters most. As long as the longevity moving forward is nice and healthy motor. When you're working in tight spaces like this, always remember to be patient. You may want to make sure that the engine's not hot so you don't burn yourself, but also where your hand is going to go. If you're brushing across a wiring harness that's fragile, be careful not to bump into it because you could snap it off. I opted for the SuperTech ST3614 from Walmart just because it was about $5, super cheap, but that way we can also change the oil more frequently. Healthier oil more frequently, which should produce a better engine. But at the same time, this motor hasn't really ran frequently in, I would say, a year or two, so I definitely need to put it through its paces and change the oil probably 2 or 3 times over the summer. So let's go cheap and make sure it gets done right. Make sure to clean up any excess oil so you can reduce risk of fire. After we tighten up the drain plug in this bad boy, it's officially time to add oil. I am going to add it probably 1/4 of a quart at a time. It's very important to make sure that it's not over full, but I also want to make sure we're not too under the fill level. I want to make sure it's done correctly, and don't forget we did pre-fill the filter. That way it doesn't start with a dry oil filter. There it is, that satisfactory sound we've all been waiting for. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, and if you have any questions with your lawnmowers or electrical diagnosis, please hit me up. I'm not afraid, I'm not shy to answer questions through the comment section or through email, my bio. It's up to you guys, but thank you so much for watching.